Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And we are here for another show of New York Knicks draft prospects, ladies and gentlemen. And if you missed me earlier, I was on Sportscaster as we did a little, and it wasn't even a live call-in. We just did a Knicks news episode. You know what I mean? We just did a Knicks news episode, talked about the Knicks a little bit live on Sportscaster. Now we're still on Sportscaster, but we're also on YouTube. And we're going to break down a couple of draft picks. So, got some stuff to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I got Big Freezy in the chat. Nate the Great is in the chat. We got Guillermo in the chat. Right now, Guillermo's not focused. So, you know, we really won't be able to get too much from Guillermo because he's not focused right now. He's checking out, you know, West Side Gun. He's waiting to hear the Rock Marciano song. Once the Rock Marciano song comes on, then he can come back down and he'll be good. But right now, Guillermo's no good. You know what I'm saying? Guillermo's no good right now. But anyway, Big Freezy, what's popping, man? Big Freezy, can you hear me? Hold on, one second. My bad, I had you muted. Go ahead, Big Freezy.
Hey, what's going on, Sam? What's going on, chat?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm looking at Guillermo now. I probably can't even unmute him because he's probably got music playing in the background.
All right. I do have the music. Hold on. Let me mute it.
Guillermo, what's going on?
I muted it.
All right.
Good.
Listen, look, you guys see Guillermo smiling because Rock Marciano is on a track with Freddie Gibbs and with West Side Gun, and it's produced by Alchemist. Guillermo don't know what to do with himself. He don't know what to do with himself.
Yeah. He don't know what to do with himself.
He don't know what to do with himself.
Chill. All right, guys. All right, let's get to the show, man.
Guillermo making me nervous.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, so it's all good though. It's all good. Right now, you know, they kind of debuting Rock. I'm about to say Rock Marciano. They're debuting West Side Gun's album "Pray for Paris." Nate the Great, what's popping with you, bro?
How you doing, boss?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's going on with you? How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just chilling. You know, Thursday night, just chilling.
I hear you, man. We're about to break down some of these prospects. Right now, we're looking at prospects, ladies and gentlemen, that, you know, they could go lower in the draft, right? They could go lower in the draft, and maybe the Knicks would be able to pick these guys up later on. All right, now look. The Knicks aren't going to get these guys in the top 10. I wouldn't expect these guys to be in the top 10. Maybe Okoro. I don't think Saddiq Bey or Nico Mannion to be in the top 10, right? So if the Knicks are looking at these guys, it's going to be lower in the draft, or unless the Knicks try to take that 27th pick in the second round pick and move up. All right, so it'd be somewhere around there. But it's a possibility. Right. The Knicks have crazy possibilities because they have 3 draft picks. They have that second round draft pick. They have a lot of possibilities. So I don't think it's off the table to cover anybody in this draft, Freezy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's off the table to cover anybody because there's so many possibilities that the Knicks have to, you know, to pick up, to make some moves in this draft. You know?
Hey, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So if you don't pick in the top 6, do you look to trade back? Say, for instance, Obi Toppin, and all the guys that we want in the top 5 are gone when we pick at 6. Do we trade back to say, man, get a Devin Vassell and a Saddiq Bey, and then get 2 other guys later in the draft?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, tomorrow night we're gonna break down and do a Knicks big board, right? So we're gonna do a big board and we're gonna look at, you know, who are the, you know, who's your top 10 players. I think we're gonna look at that. And I'm not saying top 10 players in the draft. I'm saying top 10 players for the Knicks. That's gonna be tomorrow night. We're gonna do a mock big board the top 10 players for the Knicks. That's going to be part 1. And then part 2, we're going to do, the second half of the draft. And then part 3, we're going to do the second round. Okay. Because that's a good question. If you get outside of that, if you get, listen, there's a 50% chance that the Knicks get the 7th or 8th pick.
Right.
Okay.
Then what do you do? Do you just take the guy that's there?
I mean, do you look at someone like Okoro or Bey? I mean, then what do you do? So that's why I'm saying this draft for the Knicks, anywhere across the board, they got to look at everybody because they have 3 draft picks. They can move up. They can decide to move down if they don't like their draft position. There's a lot that they can do. That's why they've really got to look at everybody. They can be all across the board. You know what I'm saying? They can be all across the board. So the first guy that I'm looking at is Saddiq Bey. That's the first guy that I'm going to cover, Saddiq Bey. Okay. Man. All right. Listen, he's a guy that's from, he's from my neck of the woods. Well, not upstate New York, my neck of the woods, but Maryland, my neck of the woods. Okay.
Right.
He can hoop. The kid can ball.
Yeah.
I'm saying the kid can ball. He does have, there's a few areas of, I don't know if you want to say areas of development or just some drawbacks to his game. Right. But listen, he's 6'8". He's 215 pounds. Played for Villanova. He's a sophomore. He's 21 years old, so he's a little bit older of a sophomore. Okay.
Right.
He just turned 21 a couple of days ago.
Okay.
He averaged 16 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 2.4 assists, just under 1 steal a game, 1.5 turnovers per game. He shot 47.7% from the field and 45.1% from the 3-point line. He also shot 76.6% from the free throw line. All right. Now, here are the strengths with this kid. He can shoot it from deep. We already know it. He does have a low trajectory on his shot. Okay. He doesn't, extend the ball, really, really up above his head and really get that L to his elbow. But he can knock it down from deep. He shot 45% from the 3-point line in college, but he can shoot it deeper than college. All right. He can shoot it from the NBA range. Okay. Right. He can play inside. Right. I've seen video, watched games and seen video of times when he's able to post up. Right. And he's decent at it. He's got the size. He's got the body to be able to do it. He can post up. He doesn't have crazy moves when he's posting up, but he's got enough moves where he can score the basketball. Right. At least at the college level, he did. Will it translate to the NBA? Only time will tell. He has the ability, which I think, a lot of people maybe overlook. He has the ability to handle the ball in the screen and roll. And I think some people overlook that. But I've seen times in games where he had the ball in the screen and roll, and he can find the roller. Now you pair that with someone like a Mitchell Robinson, right? You got a shooter, a guy who can knock down the shot. The scary thing about it is, he may not be the kind of guy that's going to knock down the shot off the dribble, but you got a guy that can knock down the shot, and then you got a guy that can roll to the basket, and Mitchell Robinson. That could be a nice little duo. Right. And he's a decent defender. He can bang with some guys down low because he's got the body. If you're looking at the video right now and you see the picture, he's got a good body and he's just going to get bigger and stronger. Right. He can bang a little bit down low. There are times if you watch him defensively, he might get, I don't want to say lost defensively, but, maybe fall asleep. Maybe he'll fall asleep defensively. Hopefully that could be fixed if he's got the right coach in the NBA. But he's a decent defender. He's good on switches. He's 6'8", right? He can. I wouldn't say he can defend a shooting guard. He can defend a small forward or a power forward. He's not really light-footed or quick-footed. Okay, so I don't know about him defending a shooting guard. He is good at taking angles. I think he knows his limitations as far as his athleticism is concerned because he has no bounce. Right? He's 21 years old. Right? He's 21 years old. And when I watch him dunk, like he catches the ball, somebody, he's cutting to the basket and someone catches to him, hits it to him. it looks like 30-year-old Melo to me, right? Because he doesn't have a lot of bounce. And he's just going to go up and put it in. So he's not going to explode in the air with this monster dunk. And, maybe every once in a while he gets a good step, but he doesn't really have a lot of bounce. He doesn't have a quick first step at all. He doesn't have a lot of speed. When he gets around people, right, it's because he uses his body to get around people. He bumps them back with his body. He has no first step, which could be, well, I'll get into that. And he has short strides. So when he does make a move to get past somebody, he doesn't take a long step. He takes some short steps to get to the basket, which allows the defender to catch back up to him. And he needs a lot of dribbles to get past people because he doesn't have any speed. He doesn't have a first step. Some of these things I think can cause a problem in the NBA because, when you're in the NBA, if you don't have enough speed, the ball gets kicked out to you, you got somebody closing out on you, right? You need that. You need to have at least a little bit of speed to get past them and be able to either pull it up or go to the cup. This guy is kind of slow. He doesn't have a lot of speed, and he's heavy-footed too, it seems like. Those are some issues that may come to pass while he's in the NBA. You know what I mean? We'll have to see. We'll have to see how his limitations as far as speed and his first step and all of that stuff come to play. You know what I mean? But that's him. What do you think, Freezy? What's your take? Hold on 1 second.
I don't know if those limitations will be something that prevents him from being a very good NBA player. I think the stuff that you mentioned, some of it, like on the short strides, once you beat your defender, the recovery on defense and things like that. I think that once he improves his core strength, I think you'll see improvements in those areas. You know what I'm saying? Like getting by your guy and keeping them on your hip is a core strength issue. And the stuff that you said, it kind of reminds me of what people thought Chris Middleton would be like. And Chris Middleton wound up developing into somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't go by you. But I'll tell you this other thing too that you didn't mention about Saddiq Bey. Man, his handles are sick for a dude his size. Like if you watch he can get by somebody with craftiness with the dribble. You know what I'm saying? But blowing by him has been his issue. And his defense, man, I'm more impressed by what he does defensively in a team concept. I'm thinking if the Knicks get him, they won't have to worry about the team defense suffering once he's on the floor. And then plus on the other end, he can't create the three, but if you have a guard that could get him the ball in his spot, he can knock it down half the time. And that's impressive in its own right.
Right. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? He can knock it down. He every once in a while he can come off the dribble and knock it down.
But he can't depend on it though. He can't. That's not. He
can't depend on it.
That's
right.
Not That's not his forte. But if you have a guard that can kick it to him, like this year, we kicked it out to people and we clanked it all over the place. And if we had a guy like Saddiq Bey that could just knock that thing down, like in the NBA, he won't shoot 46 or whatever %. He'll probably be close to like 38, but that's still impressive.
Right. I don't know. Who do you liken him to in the NBA?
Chris Middleton. That's who I imagine him as. And not all-star, I'm playing with Giannis Chris Middleton. I'm talking about the Chris Middleton that was with the Pistons and nobody knew who he was and he looked, he had to develop into somebody. You know what I'm saying? It took Chris Middleton a few years to carve out a niche and once he Once he found out what he could do, then
Right. Okay. He could be a Chris Middleton. I mean, I see where you're going with it. I see where you're going with it. Wouldn't it be
because the dude had a certain set of skills. Like he could shoot it, and he was a competent defender. He just had to carve out a niche, and once he did that, Chris Middleton got game going towards the basket that opened up his spot up 3-point shooting. And so once he did that,
Okay. All right. Let me see. Guillermo, I'm coming to you. I know I'm gonna come to you now because right now I know Westside Gun is lagging on Twitch and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna come to you now.
All right.
What's your take? I know it's lagging over there, right? They're having some issues on Twitch.
I cut off the sound to hear this. So
all right.
Don't antagonize me now. I'm helping you out, son.
What's your take on Saddiq Bey, man?
I don't know where the Chris Middleton comparison comes to. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Wesley Matthews.
Okay.
He's not a guy. I don't think his athleticism is there, right? So one thing about core strength is that, unfortunately, there are guys who are just born with fast twitch, and there's some guys who are just born without a lot of fast twitch muscles. And he just seems like a guy who may just be born without a lot of fast twitch muscles. Now, can he dribble? Yeah. Can he get to the basket? Yeah, but it does take a lot of time. Like, even when you see his defense, this thing I'm worried about is defense. And a lot of young kids, John Morant, same thing. They leave their feet a lot, right? And they try to use athleticism to get back. And I've seen a few plays where they didn't call the foul, where he kind of bumps into the guy as he's trying to defend because the guy kind of beats him, but he kind of puts it by him as he's laying it up. And they're going to call those fouls in the NBA, especially if you're not LeBron or one of these superficial stars that got in the league where they don't call those calls. So that's one thing he definitely has to work on. John Morant had the same thing coming out of college, Murray State, where he leaves his feet a lot, and instead of shuffling his hips, shuffling his hips and his legs, he kind of like just tries to use his athleticism to track back. So that's one thing he has to work on. Another thing is that in the NBA, he's shooting like 45% from three, which is amazing, right? But he's not coming in. When you look at him, you don't look at him as just a specialist three, which can be concerning, right? So I don't know what he's shooting off of. I'm not taking this away from him. He can come in the NBA, be a 40% shooter coming out. Like I hope he does well. But there's some guys who in college, for whatever reason, because maybe the number one scorer in the team or whatever, a lot of times they use kind of like that energy to really shoot well or whatever. And when they come to NBA, when they're not the main ball handlers and they're playing strictly off ball, they kind of lose that ability to shoot the three. I don't know. It sounds weird what I'm saying, but I've seen it with certain guys where it's like, they shot really well in college. They come in the NBA, have to kind of play a different role on offense. And when they're asked to shoot the three, they just don't shoot as efficiently, at the very least early on. So to me, he reminds me of Wesley Matthews. I still got to watch more film on him. But what I'm seeing, I'm not like overly impressed. I think he's solid.
Yeah,
but again, this draft is a lot of guys where it's like, oh yeah, he's underrated. Well, is he really underrated, or we just have a weak draft and he's properly rated, but he's just performing well in a really weak draft?
Right.
So,
I think that Wesley Matthews and Chris Middleton are kind of the same guys, just different size.
Chris Middleton, well, no, because Wesley Matthews, when you watch him when he was on the Blazers and the Mavericks, when he was like actually healthy, or Blazers, excuse me, he was kind of playing that guardish role, kind of a big guy, can use his body to get to the basket. Chris Middleton plays a lot more post. Now, I have to watch this guy more, but from what I've seen, I don't think I've watched him playing a lot of post. If he plays a lot of post,
he plays in the post. He can play in the post. He can score out of the post. It's not his bread and butter, but he can score out of the post. And when I say Chris Middleton and Wesley Matthews, kind of the same guy, just a different height. They're both. Wesley Matthews today, right? It's going to be, you're going to put him in the corner, or post him outside the 3-point line and let him get the kick out, knock it down. You kind of do the same thing with Chris Middleton, except Chris Middleton can go in the post a little bit more. Right, he scores out of the post a little bit more, maybe create his shot a little bit better than Wesley Matthews did. But I can see this guy. I mean, I can see some of both of those guys in him. You know what I mean? But this guy, he can a little bit score on the post a little bit.
But people say he's going to be a stud. Hey, I hope he's a stud. From what I've seen so far, I don't see it. Like people were saying, I'm just saying, what is a skill when you don't have elite speed, athleticism, and you are a wing player? I mean, yes, he's shooting 45% three, which is great, but he does have a weird shooting motion, which is kind of lowish. If that makes sense. So it's not the. Again, he could struggle because of that, right? Where in the NBA, if you don't get it off quick enough, like, I mean, there's certain guys, like, remember Kevin Martin used to shoot it from like that weird kind of,
right.
catapult type shooting, or like from low. It's ugly. But I mean, he was able to do that, right? Efficiently. And it's only very few guys who they come to NBA and have that weird shooting motion. And he doesn't have a weird shoot, it's just that he shoots it very low. He doesn't really jump with his shot. So I won't say it's a set shot, but it's very.
He doesn't
low.
jump. He doesn't jump on a shot. I've seen a couple of times when he'll get up, but for the most part, he doesn't jump on a shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me see what some of these other guys think about him. Now, he's definitely, I mean, listen, if I'm getting him, if I'm around the 15th pick, or if the Knicks somehow trade up to the 15th pick or something like that and he's there, I'd get him. If he's there at 27, I'm definitely getting him. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely getting him. Aunt G, I'm coming to you, man. What's your take on him? I can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you. Let me get to Isaiah, and then I'll come back to Angie. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Hey, what's going on, sir?
What's up, man?
Not much. Can't complain, man. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I was a little bit sick last night, but I'm feeling much better.
That's good, man. That's good. I like the kid, man. I agree with you with the if we trade down, definitely grab him. He's a good pair with RJ. I like him. No, good kid. I'm not really, again, I don't think we're gonna get down that low, but you never know. But actually, it's math. We can't go down that low, but he'll be a good pickup though.
It's not about us going down that low. It's about us trading up to that point. Remember, we got the 27th pick, and then we got like 38th or something like that. Right? So we can be all over this draft. And if we ended up getting the 7th or 8th pick, then, you got a decision to make. Is the 7th or 8th pick going to be that much different than the 15th or 16th pick in this draft?
Yo, can you tell Gilmore to stop, man? Gilmore's crazy, man.
So you're just going to ignore what I was just saying and talk about Guillermo, huh?
No, I'm listening. No, Sim, I'm listening.
No, you ain't. I'm skipping out. I'm skipping out. I just asked you a question, and you talk to me about Guillermo. You know what I'm saying? Nate, come on, man. Talk to me, Nate. Go ahead, Nate.
What's
Talk
up,
to
man?
me.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Isaiah's so funny, man. When you describe this player, it kind of made me think of when Mikal Bridges was going to come out last year. Not a very athletic guy, but was a good shooter. Could make the open shot.
Uh-huh.
This guy, and it's kind of ironic. They both come from the same school.
The only thing I think the difference between these two guys, though, is he's much bigger and stronger.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to make a difference.
Frame.
I think that's going to make a difference in the NBA.
And I think Bridges is a better defender than probably this guy was.
He might be, because Bridges is a little bit faster too.
Right. The athletic thing really worries me, Sim. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, do you value athleticism a lot, or do you rather value somebody who can be crafty at getting their shots?
I value athleticism. I value someone who can be crafty at getting their shots too, because I feel like a lot of the guys who have a lot of the guys who have this crazy athleticism never had the chance to learn the nuances of the game.
That is true. Yeah, it's like football. They basically play off their athleticism, and they don't really learn how to harness their skills.
Exactly. And when you have a guy that had to focus on those nuances, in order to get their shot off, in order to play the game, learn how to cut to the basket, know when to slash, know when to roll, know when to do all these little things. It helps. You know what I'm saying? That helps from a team aspect. So, it has to be like Uptown Twan says, Harden is not the most athletic, but he's crafty. You see, right, exactly.
Yeah. So is Luka. Luka's that way. But the thing is, I think those are exceptions to the rule. For the most part, in the NBA, you have to be pretty decent athletic to be able to keep up with these guards or keep up with these forwards.
I mean, you do. I agree, you do. But I think when you have guys that know how to play basketball low, because sometimes you got these guys that are athletic, super athletic, and everything. But when it comes down to that fourth quarter and it comes down to winning, sometimes your super athletic guys are not the ones that's in the game. Yeah, those guys are on the bench watching these other guys. These other guys.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think you need to have both. Yeah, I just think if the Knicks are gonna get a player, I think at some point the Knicks need to be able to run more, and you gotta have guys who can get up and down the court at a quick rate.
Agree.
I think that's what the Knicks going forward should be doing with all this young talent, athleticism, is run.
I agree, but I also think I also think that in today's game, a good 3-point shooter is part of being able to run the floor. Right? Because if you got 4 guys on the court that's all running towards the basket on a fast break and transition, that's a problem. Right? You got a 3-point shooter that's going to spread it out. He's going to run the lane, but he's going to run the lane outside that 3-point line. Then you got your defenders that are getting back. They got to spread out and get to those 3-point shooters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's part of running that fast break too.
Yeah,
and he may not be super duper quick with all this kind of speed, but he can get up and down the floor. Yeah,
we definitely need that for sure.
He can get up and down the floor. But listen, I like the kid. I would if the Knicks don't make any other moves and he's there at 27, I'm taking him at 27. I doubt he's going to be there at 27, but if somehow, some way he was there at 27, I'm taking him.
And also, too, you gotta look at the factor that he's been coached well with Jay Wright.
Yeah,
Jay Wright always coaches his players well and prepares them for the next level. Even if they don't develop into stars or anything, they stick along in the NBA for years to come.
Right. And he's He won a championship, right?
They didn't win. It wasn't them.
When did Villanova win? Was it last year?
It was like two years ago, I think.
2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. That's right.
Yeah.
No, he didn't win.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore this year. He didn't win the championship, right?
Yeah.
So
he was incoming.
Yeah. He was incoming, right? So listen, I like him. Where do you take him at? Obviously, I take him at 27. If the Knicks somehow ended up with let's just say the 15th pick. Let's say the Knicks ended up with the 15th pick. You take him at 15?
Yeah, I take him mid first round. I think the value is good there. I wouldn't take him any higher than 15. I think there's going to be some players that I might look at ahead of him.
Okay.
But if he's around the 15 to 30 mark, that's a steal, Sim.
Okay. What about 10 to 12?
Ooh, 10 to 12. How good of a shooter is he?
Shot 45% from the 3-point line this year.
Oh, damn. What did he shoot overall?
47.
Damn. Pretty good.
Yeah, shoot.
He's a sophomore, right?
He's a sophomore. He's 21, though. He's 21. He's sophomore,
that's
but he's 21.
That's the thing, too, because I remember you said 22, you were kind of concerned about Obi Toppin.
Well, what I was concerned about with Obi Toppin is he's 22, but his footwork is still suspect.
Yeah.
If you're 22 years old, your footwork, you should have your footwork down. And you should have advanced footwork. You know what I'm saying? His footwork a little bit suspect. Obi Toppin, his footwork isn't suspect. He's got good footwork. It's just slow. Well, let me
Wow.
get to Mark. See what Mark's talking about. Mark, what's
Sam,
going on,
you
man?
hit-
What's
you
your
hit
take
it-
on this brother,
you-
man? What's your take on this young brother?
You hit it because I was talking to Guamo last week about Saddiq Bey. Bro, he's going to be top at least a top 10 lottery pick. This dude can shoot the ball. He's a bona fide shooter, and the boy can defend. He can defend and move his feet very, very well. If I was the Knicks, I would find my way to get up to go get him because I like him. He's 6'8", could play the 2 or 3, and could defend anyone. Can defend guards, can defend forwards, and small forwards. This kid is legit. And it's crazy that you brought it up. And I was talking about him last week.
Uh-huh.
This dude can be a player. He can, he remind me of kind of like Chris Middleton. That's what he remind me of. Chris Middleton.
That's what me and Freezy was just talking about that. We were just
Chris
talking
Middleton.
about that.
But I think he's stronger, and I think he's a better defender. He moves quick. He moves quicker than you might think. He's not slow to me. He's not slow to me. You watch his footwork.
No, man.
You watch his footwork on defense. He stays in front of his guys.
He does. Defensively, he can play defense. I'm saying offensively, he's not blowing past this guy.
Oh no, because he's not that type of a player. He's more of a spot up shooter. He's a shooter. That's what he is. He's a shooter. As long as he can run the floor and shoot the ball, I'm not looking for him to be no one-on-one guy. That boy is
right. You don't need him to do that.
That boy he's a specialist. That's what he can be in this league. He can be a 3-and-D specialist, bro, because he's really, really that good. Because when you watch the coach used to sick him on any of the other stars that come to play Villanova because he is that stout defensively. If the Knicks could listen, I am so over it because I don't know where the Knicks going to pick, man. And it's killing me inside, man.
Well, listen, they can be all over the board, right?
That's the
They
crazy
can be all
part.
over the board. They're not going to go any lower than 8, I think, or something like that. They shouldn't go any lower than 8. But with having the 27th and 38th pick, or assuming that's just something like that, they could move up if they want to. They could move up into the mid rounds. That's why we're covering these guys.
I would trade those 2 picks to go get him, because he was one of my guys on my board.
Okay,
he's definitely one of my guys on my board because the way the Knicks bench is gonna look, he's a plug-in guy, man. Because them Villanova boys know how to play basketball. They all know how to play basketball. They translate to the game. Last year, all the guys out of Villanova are either starters or contributors. From Brunson, from Mikal Bridges. Villanova guys are just they're just NBA players. They just play the game. Most of them might not be stars. You get once in a blue moon, you get one of those Villanova players, but they end up being good rotational piece NBA players. And they just know how to play basketball. They're smart. They're disciplined. They are disciplined players. Very disciplined. If I get my hand on him to add to the young roster, oh my God. Oh my God, he's a problem.
So you would trade up. You would use that because he's not falling to 27. Ain't no way. You would use that second round pick and the 27th pick around there to move up.
I'd use that to get to 10 to 15 because he's going around 10 to 15. His mock drive is around 10, 15. He could go early. If you like him, he could go earlier. If you like him. I like him, but I wouldn't take him in the top 10 lottery pick.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If the Knicks, let's say the Knicks get the 8th seed, the 8th seed. Let's say they get the 8th pick.
Yeah.
You trade back. You accumulate assets, trade back, and get a guy like him.
If I had the 8th pick, man, number one, first I would see if I have to. I would see if I could trade down.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Would you trade down?
First I would see if I trade down. If anybody's left, I think I might take him at 8. I'm so serious. Cause I think he's an ass.
Would you take him that high? You would take him at 8?
Huh?
You would take him at 8? I see
I would take
Gregory
him-
Castillo said just pick him at 7 or 8. You would take him that high?
Yo, Sim, he is a shooter. Like he's.
I know he is. I know he is. But you would take him at the 8th pick?
I would take him at 8 and never hesitate because I just think that you taking him at 8 is like taking. It's like right now. He's better than Knox right now because the dude can defend and shoot that ball. So yeah, I would take him at 8. I'll take him at 8 without hesitating. No lie,
Okay.
I would because I think he could be a big time asset to our team.
I think he can too. I agree with you. I
think he's an asset,
him.
man.
I really do like him. I think he could be a big time player
And
for
it's
the Knicks.
funny you brought that up. That was smart because I think a lot of people not say sleeping on him, but you should really, really keep your eyes on him because the kid know how to play smart basketball.
Okay.
And that's what this team needs. Guys that know what to do, when to do it. He know how to position himself shooting. I just like his defense. His footwork on defense, it is stout, man. It is stout from a young guy.
Yeah.
And he's willing. He's willing, Sim. He's willing.
He is. I know.
He is willing, man. He's bigger than what you think, man. That's a
Okay.
6'8" Goliath, man. Oh my God.
He's big. Yeah. He's already got an NBA body. You know what I'm saying? I like him, and if the Knicks can find a way, I don't know if I'm taking him in the top 10, but if they can find a way to get the kid, I would love it. I would love it. But I'm gonna come right back to you, Mark. Let me get to the next guy. And of course, as I'm getting around, if you guys wanna, make a comment on Bey, that's fine. The next guy we're talking about today is Nico Mannion. Okay, and I know there's a lot of people that not high on the kid. I don't know how much I think he's gonna do in the NBA, but let's talk about it. The Knicks need point guards. Let's talk about him. Nico Mannion, redhead kingpin. If the Knicks somehow drafted this kid, I'm calling him redhead kingpin. That's what I'm calling him. Believe it or not, the kid's from Italy. He's a point guard, 6'3", 190 pounds. Played for Arizona. He's a freshman. He's 19 years old. All right. He actually just turned 19 last month. All right. For Arizona this season, he averaged 14 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.2 steals, 2.6 turnovers. He only shot 39.2% from the field, and he shot 32.7% from three. Shot almost 80% from the free throw line and was 79.7%. All right, so this is the report on him. Look, he's a creative playmaker. All right, he can be creative with the basketball. He can be creative with the dribble. He can find creative ways to get other people the ball. He can find creative ways to get a shot up. That works in college. He's a good ball handler. Likes to get his teammates involved, right? That's the kind of point guard that he is. He's a pretty smooth basketball player. He's got to work on getting those field goal percentages up, but he's a smooth basketball player. Now, he lacks explosiveness. It's not explosive. Okay, kind of like Saddiq Bey, right? He's going to use craftiness and creativity to get past you. That's his game. He's got an okay first step, but it's not elite. Right? He's just not going to crush you with his first step. His lack of speed impacts his defense, especially on a professional level. His lack of speed, lateral movement, lateral quickness. How is it going to impact his defense, especially in the NBA? That's going to be a question. And I think, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, I think he's going to get kicked around defensively in the NBA. I don't think he's going to be able to defend in the NBA. Can he rely on creativity in the NBA? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to rely on his creativity to score for others and score for himself in the NBA. He's going to have to build some strength. We know that. He's 19 years old, young kid. He's going to have to build some strength. He's a decent guard. I don't see him being much more than a backup in the NBA. Right, so obviously the Knicks aren't going to draft this kid to be a starting point guard. Right, they're not going to. I don't know if any team that's going to draft him to be a starting point guard. In my opinion, I see G. Andrezzi says he wants Nico. Who's Mark said Nico's like Luke Riddenauer. Okay. Can he be as good as Steve Blake? I don't know. You know what? Steve Blake. I don't know. Steve Blake was one of those creative type of guys. Steve Blake had some moments where he started in the NBA, right? He was a starting point guard. He had some moments where he was a starting point guard in the NBA. Can he be as Steve Blake? That's a good question. Most of the time, Steve Blake was a guy that was coming off the bench. I think that's going to be the same with this guy. I don't think he's going to be, he might find a footing somewhere in the NBA. I don't think he's going to be a starting point guard in the NBA, and if he is, it's not going to be for long. They might give him a season or two, but if he is able to do it offensively, defensively, may end up being a problem. I don't know. See what these guys here in the chat think. You know what I mean? Andrew, I'm gonna come to Andrew. All right, see what Andrew thinks. Andrew,
what's up, Sam?
What's going on, man? What's your take on Nico Mannion?
First, thanks for having me on. And
appreciate you, man.
Man, I'm not too high on him. You know what I mean? I'm not too high on him. Like he looks cool and all, but and that's what we're drafting. At number 8, or we get number 8, or we get like a number 7 pick. Nah, I'm not too high on him. I'd rather get Bey. I'd rather get Bey than him.
I don't think they would draft him at a number 8 or a 7 or number 8. I don't think they would. I don't know.
I mean, you never know. He may drop in the draft. You never know, because I don't know what other teams need a point guard. He might drop. You know what I mean? So if I'm the Knicks, you know what I mean, you see where he falls if you're interested in him, because we do have, like, I think the number 27 pick or something like that, 26 pick, or
right
later in the first round. I looked at the mock draft stuff. I mean, I would go for Bey, because he could already defend and he could shoot the 3.
You know what I mean?
So I'm just not high on that guy. Because he kind of looked like to me I don't know. I'm just not high on him. I don't see it. I mean, I don't think we need that. If that's the case, we might as well just keep the point guards we have.
True. Would you take him at 27? I guess if you're taking him at 27,
falls, I'll take him there.
I mean, what's the point? I guess what's the point at taking him at 27 if you already got, if you already got Frank Miller? Unless something happened where, let's just say you got the number 1 pick and you took Anthony Edwards, right? And then Nico Mannion dropped down to number 7. Then you might say, okay, you know what? I mean, drop down to number 27. Then you might say, you know what? I'll take him.
You know why I would do that? Just for the fact he's 19. So you never know. He may grow into his body and develop, and he may not necessarily be a point guard. You could say he's a basketball player, so he may have point guard skills. He may develop. If his shooting stroke develops, he may have some shooting guard skills. So then you could play him at either guard position. So you could pair him with anybody, as long as he can just handle the ball. He could play off the ball. You can put him with anybody. But then, I mean, it depends. I mean, if we get the number 1 pick, I want LaMelo. So it depends what we do, because we also can make some trades. I don't know what's gonna happen with our young core, like the young pieces. So it all depends what we give up in a trade, if we do make any. I've seen some trades I've seen some things that we made, look to get Joel Embiid and stuff like that, or you get a Donovan Mitchell. So it all depends what our needs are to fill out whatever we do. It all depends. Right. But if we don't make any moves whatsoever, and we never know, we may make a future move where we may need a point guard, I would draft him and just send him to the D League because of his age and see how he develops.
Okay. All right. Let me get some other guys here and see what they think about this kid, man. Nate, what's your thoughts on it, man? I think you got yourself muted, Nate.
Yeah, I didn't mean myself. Do you hear me?
There you go. Yeah.
I think he's one of those players that probably could benefit from staying in college another year. I think he's only a freshman, and I think if he really stayed another year, worked on his game, he could be a top 10 pick. There's just so many of the point guards that would take over him right now. And the fact that he's unathletic really bothers me. He's not very athletic. I feel like if that's the one position that you need athleticism in today's NBA, you need to have it at the point guard. And he sounds like Frank in the sense like just the worse defender than Frank. Like Frank's a good defender.
Yeah, much worse defender than Frank.
Yeah, he just sounds like a bad defender that's unathletic, and if you don't have that in the NBA, you're going to get eaten up by guards. Like you said, he's going to get torn up on defense.
Right.
Like bad. And so I just think, I mean, if he's there at 27 for any reason and you want to take a shot at him, hey man, that's fine. That's totally cool. But I would not trade up for him, and I would not consider him over guys like Cole Anthony or even Killian.
Definitely not. Definitely not. The only way you consider that guy is if he was at 38 in the second round, maybe say, okay, you know what, we'll give him a shot. Maybe even at 27, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got the first pick and you took Anthony Edwards, you know what I mean, and then he dropped to 27, you might say, you know what, we need to, let's give him a shot. I mean, but at 27, at that point, Ishmael said, I'd rather call up Lamar Peters than to pick him at 27. So, you might.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you could see a situation where he could fall the second round because the fact is that there are not a lot of hungry teams that need starting point guards. Unless a team just has an old point guard that, like a la the Lakers, and maybe they looked at him and said, hey, maybe we could use a guy like him to supplant Rondo, but I just don't see a lot of teams going to rush to pick this guy up. So he very well could fall to the 27th or second round. Yeah. And then after that, then you have to consider, like, you could send him to the G League and let him develop his game. But I don't know, man. Like I said, this team needs so many.
What would be the point? We have a point guard in the G League now.
That's true. So that's what I'm saying. This team has so many needs right now. And if you're not in love with any of these point guards, don't take them. Go for the best talent
it's not
available.
It's not like he has a skill of being creative.
Right.
But he's not a knockdown 3-point shooter or anything like that.
He kind of sounds like Jay Will. Like, remember Jason Williams?
He's not. No, he's not Jason Williams.
Well, he wasn't a shooter. I mean, he was a good passer.
Yeah, but he's not athletic. Jason Williams could just flat out. I mean, this kid is good. He's okay. He's not Jason Williams though.
Well, I
know what you're saying as far as the creativity, but he's not Jason Williams though.
Yeah. They had some people say that before the season started about this guy when he came to Arizona, that they thought he might be like a Jay Will type. But, yeah, he really didn't play that way at all.
Yeah. So. All right, let me see. Who else has an opinion on Nico Mannion, wants to get in here? We got Siobhan. Oh, let me get Guillermo, then I'm going to come around to Siobhan. Guillermo, go ahead, man.
Nico Mannion, again, I think this is a draft that's getting a little overrated, man. Because I think Nico Mannion, he has a nice shot that he can hit on players. He can shoot from deep, but look at his athleticism. You look at where, it's not a guy who's going to penetrate deep into the heart of the defense and then pass from there. He seems like a guy who, he can make the slick passes the guys are cutting. His athleticism just I don't say it bothers me, but that's not a guy I'm drafting in the first round. I don't know who to really compare him to because I don't know anybody in NBA who's that slow, but that not really that dynamic in terms of passing and facilitating. Not saying he could do it. It's weird. I just think he's a guy that we could move over. And people saying, that Nico is this and that. I just feel, again, this is a draft. He's a little overrated. Like I watch him shoot shots in guys' faces. I don't know if he's gonna be doing that in NBA. Was he 6'3", 6'2",
like 6'3"? Yeah, he's like 6'3".
And when you watch him, it's not as if he jumps really high when he shoots. So, there's a guy who's going to need some space in the NBA because guys are going to hound him and, not to make this racial, they don't want, a lot of players don't want some white boy showing them up, cross them over and stuff. I still remember when Bob Sura caught Iverson and Iverson did not he torched Bob Sura every time he met up after that. So I mean, that's just a small little point, but I'm just not so high on Nico Mannion. I think he's he's a guy you could probably get undrafted in a regular year. I don't know what's gonna happen this year, but I wouldn't spend any draft capital on him.
I wouldn't.
And Andre Miller. Someone said, trying to say Andre Miller. I want to say Rick Brunson. Someone said Andre Miller. Andre Miller wasn't the greatest shooter, but Andre Miller's court vision and his craftiness with the ball and how he could catch you. See, Andre Miller had like this sudden change of movement. It's not necessarily speed. It's like a quickness where little decisions. Once I have like one little inch on you, little step on you, I can get past you. Now I can time when you're off, and I can like basically get past you on that. So I may not beat you hairline speed, but once I catch you with something, little bop here and there, I got you. Once you fall off balance once, I got you. And that's the thing about Andre Miller. And Nico Mannion, I don't see that from Nico Mannion.
Yeah, I don't see it from him. Although people have him going in like the top 15, top 20.
It's a weak drive, dude. So people see guys again. People are saying, "Yo, there's no way he makes out the first round." Yeah, but the thing about it is that take into account this is not a strong draft. If this was a stronger draft, does Nico Mannion get out? Does he make it? Is he even in the first round? What I mean? I'm looking at this guy and I'm trying to watch the so-called highlights, and I'm just like, okay, your highlights supposed to be stuff that's flashy. Now, the only thing I say about him, he could shoot. At times, you can shoot unconsciously, where it's just like, all right, the dude can ball. I don't know. I just don't see it. Like people talking about he makes guys better. I'm watching it. I'm gonna still keep watching, so I'm not trying to hate, but I don't see it. And he doesn't have to be a John Wall. He doesn't have to be a John Moran type. I think Chris Paul is still the best pure point guard in the game, and he's not faster than some of these guys, man.
Yeah, so, I'm just saying, a lot of places have him going. He can't help but draft these in, I guess, but a lot of places got him going. A lot of mock drafts got him going 14, 15, somewhere around there. New Orleans, Portland. We'll see, man.
Why would Portland need him?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they would need him.
Oh, no. I'm not getting on you. I'm just saying around that. And people are saying, yo, he's always been a top player in his class. Yes, but if your class is weak, like this is a very weak class, dude. Like this is a class where maybe one or two guys who might be all-stars. Is this 2000 draft? Probably not. The shape was a little bit different. Guys just coming straight out of high school. It was a terrible draft. But I'm looking at this dude, and I'm just trying to find what is it. People talking about he's a floor general. I've seen guys in college who were more active floor generals than him, and they busted, whereas like they didn't make an NBA. And I watched this kid, Nico, and it seems like in the Arizona offense, there's a lot more moving for him versus him doing things. Obviously, look, I like off-ball movement, but I'm watching this kid, and I'm like, okay, I'm not. This is not. I'm just not. I don't see it as a first-round guy in a normal draft. Obviously, it's a weak draft, but.
We'll see what he does, man. We'll see what happens and where he does. The next guy I want to look at is Isaac Okoro. All right, now he could be in the Knicks draft range.
You got to come back to me. I haven't watched Isaac Okoro.
Yeah. He might be in the Knicks draft range. He's 6'6". He's a small forward, in between being a small forward and shooting guard. 6'6". He's big, 225. Played for Auburn. He's a freshman, 19 years old. He just turned 19 in January. He averaged 12.8 points per game for Auburn. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, just under 1 steal per game, 2 turnovers. He shot 51.2% from the field and 28.6% from 3. Not a 3-point shooter. All right, he shot 67.4% from the free throw line. Listen, he is a guy that plays physical. All right, he's not going to be, real pretty on the floor, cutting you up and doing all these moves. He is a physical cutter / slasher. All right, he can cut to the basket. He can slash to the basket. He scores in transition. All right, he's an explosive athlete, and he is a defender. These are the strengths of his. This is what he does well. Okay, you're not getting this guy to be, someone that you're going to hope is going to break down the defense and score for you, because that's not what he does. He can improve in his half-court offense. that's an area that he's going to need to improve. His half-court offense, as far as being able to, go off the dribble. He can, if someone's closing out on him, he can go off the dribble and stuff like that. I'm not saying he can't do it. That's not his game. All right, at a small forward, you might want him to improve a little bit as a creator for other people. If that's not what he does, then that's not what he does. But, you may want him to do that. He's got to improve his three-point shooting. All right, he shot 6% in college. What do you think that's going to be in the NBA? All right, so he's got to improve his three-point shooting. And he has no mid-range game. So if someone's closing out, he's not going to take 2 dribbles and then pull it up. Someone is closing out and he gets past, he's looking to go to the cup. And so basically this guy is he's a slasher and a cutter. And the guy you're going to find going to the basket, he's going to be a rugged type of guy for you, that can muck it up a little bit, those type of things. All right, that's what it's going to be when you're talking about Isaac Okoro. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that the Knicks need or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I watched some, not a whole lot. I watched some. I'm just not sure, if this is the kind of guy that the Knicks really need. And if you're at 5 or 6, do you get him at 5 or 6? I don't know. Probably not. Not. I guess I don't know. If he's 7 or 8, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to think about him yet. I'm not sure exactly what to think about him. He'll be a good NBA player, I think. I'm not sure if it's exactly what the Knicks need, but I think he'll be a good NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Nate? What do you think, man?
This player reminds me of one of those guys that would really benefit from the March Madness tournament. Because I think that this guy was kind of up and coming before the whole COVID thing came around.
Uh-huh.
And I think that if he would have had a strong March Madness, this guy would go up higher where he is right now. His projections are up and down. Some people have him low 10s, 15, something like that. He kind of reminds me of, do you remember Culver from Tech last year? Culver? Was it Culver?
Yes.
The one from Tech. He kind of, his game, maybe not off. I haven't seen how offensively sound he is, but he's a really good defender.
Yeah, he can play defense.
Plays really good defense.
I don't know if he reminds me of. I don't know if he reminds me of Culver. Culver's got a mid-range game. Or the other guy
from Virginia. What was the other dude's name? Hunter. There you go, DeAndre Hunter.
But I mean, both of those guys kind of got a good shot, a mid-range game.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a mid-range game, and he can't shoot it from 3 at all.
Yeah, he plays mostly at the rim.
Yeah, he's slashing and flying to the basket. That's what he is, and that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what to think about him. I think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's the right fit for the Knicks right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We need a wing defender, dude. we haven't had a good wing defender since God knows when.
True.
I can't remember the last good wing defender. Probably Wilson Chandler was our last wing defender that we had that was decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got to be able to guard that position.
Someone, Duino P26 said he can be like Thibault from the Sixers.
Yeah, he could, or he could be Zaire Smith.
I mean, whatever it is, he's gonna be that type of guy, right? He's gonna be a slasher to the basket. I don't know if he, does he develop his outside game at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I think offensively he's raw, but defensively he could be. He's there already over Knox, I would imagine. He
probably is there already over Knox.
Exactly.
Defensively, You know what I mean? I mean, he's a rugged, a physical, rugged type of player. So yeah, he's there. If you got to choose between, if you're choosing between him and Bey, which one you taking?
It depends what you value, man. Do you value defense or do you value shooting?
Bey can play defense too.
But do you think he's better than that guy than Isaac?
I don't know.
I think Isaac might be better than him.
I don't know. I mean, you know,
he's a better shooter.
But it's not like Bey can't play defense.
Yeah.
I don't know if Isaac is coming into the NBA and just locking people down.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, he's getting a lot of high remarks for his defense. I was reaching out NBA draft.
Yeah.
But
I just don't know where he fits.
Did you see his comparison? It's Justin Anderson.
Justin Anderson. I just don't know where he fits with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure where and how he fits with the Knicks and with the things that they need. Yeah, at 6'6", he's kind of a small or a shorter small forward, if that's what he's going to play in the NBA. He's not going to play shooting guard because he can't shoot. You know, so it's hard to say.
Do you think he has the potential to be a better shooter?
I honestly think most people have the potential to be a better shooter. Some people may have to work work a little harder at it than others.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be a shooter, but I think people can develop that shot if they put in the work. You know, some people's going to be a little bit more natural.
Terrible. I mean, 3-pointer is bad, but he shot 50% from the field.
Yeah, but a lot of that shooting 50% from the field was him, transition, slashing to the basket. You know, that was a lot of that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was creating his own shot and shooting 50% from the field. It was him getting the ball in transition, slashing to the basket, those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let me get to a phone call, Nate, and then I'm going to come back to Siobhan. Let Siobhan know I'm going to come back to him after this phone call. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what's going on, Sim? How you doing, man?
I'm cool, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I know I want to talk about Bey, man, for a minute, if I could.
Okay, well, at least start off with Okoro, and then talk to me about Bey.
Yeah, for sure. I like him, but I just think for us, we just need, perimeter shooting so bad. I love him defensively. He's already there at this point. You know, he's already rock solid defensively.
Uh-huh.
You know, just worry about the shooting. You know, he can finish at the rim from what I've seen about him. You know, but, I just think we need that knockdown shooting more than just a perimeter defender, for our roster,
Yeah.
So, defensively, he's already very good defensively, But I feel like we kind of have enough wing defenders. I just think we need, more spacing and shooting on this roster,
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I feel you. I agree. We do need more. And you can find a guy in Saddiq Bey that can play defense. Maybe he may not be the same defender, but he can play defense, and he can also provide some shooting. So,
exactly.
Go ahead, man. Talk to me about Bey.
I was just going to say, man, I love Saddiq Bey, man. Even Mark was saying, you and Mark were saying you guys would take him like 8th or 9th if he got that big. I agree for sure. I would have no problem taking him with the 8th or 9th pick. Maybe it's a reach by a few spots, but for us, what we need, he fits, man. 3-and-D now in today's NBA, that's kind of what the league is. It's the Rockets. They got a bunch of 3-and-D guys. You can guard probably 2 through 4. Maybe not 2s, but he can guard 3 and 4s for sure. He can shoot that thing. What do you shoot, 46% from 3? I mean, that's no joke. I love Bey a lot.
So,
what makes him? What makes Cole Anthony or Halliburton or those guys better? Just because they're point guards and it's a need. I wouldn't just take a point guard just because we need it. It's got to be the right player. I'm not sold on those guys, not at all.
But let me ask you this: If you're getting 7 or 8, say you get the 8th pick, do you think other teams value him at the 8th pick? Don't you think you could trade back and still get Bey?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, if we got like 6, 7, or 8, I think we could trade back 5, 6 spots. I think he's gonna go end of 12 to 15 about. I would say. I think he's definitely gonna be lottery. The end 13, 14 or so. Yeah. Just for us, I think he's more of a 3, which I think that RJ is also. I think his best position should be the 3 as well. But I think they could both be a little interchangeable. You know, you could probably put one or the other at the 2. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like Bey a lot, man, a lot.
Do you have him
I wouldn't mind reaching at 8 or 9 or trading back a few spots and then getting him at like 12 or 13. I like him a lot, man.
Do you have him being a starter?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think because, like, Knicks fans, we just want upside so much. That's why they're, like, talking about Cole Anthony. But, you know, look what we just drafted with Knox. We drafted upside with Knox. And so far through 2 years, what is he, you know, it hasn't looked good, not at all. So, you know, I mean, I just think there's nothing wrong with taking a very safe player. You know, he's going to contribute right away, you know?
Okay. I mean, you know, Knox is going to be Knox is what? Knox is going to be 21 when Bey comes in. He'll be 21, right?
Right.
Something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand what you're saying about upside. I don't know how much upside Bey has. He still has a few years to develop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
I could
a few
see
years
him
to
being
develop,
like a Robert Covington or so. I can see that, like a 3-and-D guy who can knock down the jumper, play solid defense. There's nothing wrong with that. Covington just got like $90 million for a reason, you know?
No, I agree with you.
You know.
I agree with you. I just think if you get him, you got to get him at the right spot. You know what I mean? You know, it's got to be the right spot.
So would you think he's a reach if we take him like 8 or 9? I don't think it is. Not really. I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
like
I'm going to do a lot of thinking about it
really
between
well for what we need.
I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking about it between today and tomorrow because tomorrow night I'm doing a big board, a Knicks big board. So we'll be able to hash it all out. And we're going to do our top 10 players on the Knicks big board.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do, our top 10
for
players.
Sure. He might even be in my top 5 or 6, man, for the Knicks, honestly.
Okay.
I like Bey a lot, man. Can I ask you one more question before I go?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about these players that are now, instead of going to college, they're joining the G League? Jalen Green, he's going to be a top 5 pick next year in the draft. And today he decided to join the G League. There's another player, too, who's a lottery pick next year, supposed to be, and he's joined the G League as well. You know, making some money while honing his skills there instead of going to college. What do you think about that?
I don't have a problem with it, man. Let's put it like this. If you know, I think, like, keep college pure, right? The guys, give the scholarships to the guys that are going to go and stay and play for 4 years. Right? To guys, to those guys. If you know you're not going to, look, the G League is there, you can go overseas. If you know that you have no plans in going to class and learning anything when you're in college, you're going to go to class just so that you can play ball, let somebody else have the scholarship that's going to take advantage of it. Go ahead and make $50,000 or whatever it is, $75,000 a year playing in the G League. You can sign a sneaker deal if you want to because you're a professional player. Hone your skills a little bit. Right? You get to play for professional coaches, all of that.
Yep.
Right? You get taught by professionals. You might get a couple NBA players that come down and you work out with them. I mean, they get that anyway. But I think it's good.
I think this could be like the new thing. Where lottery picks, go there instead of college.
I think it could be. You got some players that are still gonna want the, still want to, have an alma mater or, want the prestige of playing for Duke or North Carolina or something like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Some players are going to want that. But, if it continues to go, it continues to happen, and some of these players start to see, oh, wait a minute, I can go to the G League and get a Nike deal?
Yeah.
Like if Zion Williamson went to the G League, he still would have gotten a Jordan brand deal or a Nike deal or whatever deal. I can guarantee it. Right? I think it's good. It's good for the players that don't want to go to college for real. Right? Because they're going to go, they're going to play against professional players. They're going to get NBA coaching. They're going to get, maybe not NBA coaching at the level that's in the NBA, but some of these coaches, they're training to go to the NBA as well, right? So they're going to get high-level coaching, development. They're going to get paid a little bit of money.
Exactly, right.
They'll learn. Now, what I think needs to happen is the G League is going to have to, it would be smart for them to put in place some things that help these guys understand what it's going to be as a professional player. Right? I think that would be something that would behoove them, right? To put in some programming to help these guys, understand what it's going to be like to be a professional player. And I think I don't know if it's Arizona. I don't think it's the University of Phoenix, but I think it's Arizona. The G League has like a contract with this university where when guys, if a high school player goes into the G League, they can go to school online at this university.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't cost them. It doesn't cost them anything.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good.
Right.
So I think it's a good
Actually,
thing.
there's one last thing I wanted to ask. You can let me go right after I ask this, and listen. I think last week you had Kevin Knox, and then you had, I think for one of his strengths, unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong, I think you had hard worker, and then for one of the weaknesses you had low motor. Don't you think that, this could sound like a silly question, but don't you think those should go like hand in hand? Like if you're a hard worker, you should have that strong motor?
Nope. I don't think so, because you can go into the gym and work by yourself, and you might work hard, right? You might work hard at your craft, because you have a coach, you have a trainer there, beating your head down, yelling at you to do this, or not yelling at you, but motivating you to do this, motivating you to do that. But then when you get out there in the game, it maybe it doesn't translate to the game, or it doesn't. Or you don't have the same motor when you get in the game, or for whatever reason, you easily fade away from the game, right? Because there could be a ton of reasons as to why a person doesn't have a low motor. It could be confidence. It could be, that they're scared being out there on the floor. It could be because they don't understand what's happening and they're thinking too much and it looks like they have a low motor. There can be a ton of reasons. So I think a player can work hard individually, right? But when you get in a game, you just don't have the motor to be everywhere.
Yeah, I got you.
Because that's when you see a guy that has a high motor, like they're all over the floor, right? They're getting the rebound, and then they're diving for a loose ball, and then they're doing this, and they're doing that, and it's like, this guy has a crazy motor.
Yeah.
I've seen guys that have a crazy motor while they're out playing, but they don't want to go into the gym and work on their craft. So,
right, yeah, I hear. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's what it is. But hey, I appreciate the call, man.
It, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate
Have
the
a
call.
good one.
You too. And I seen somebody in the chat say that players, getting your degree will make you, make your mom proud. Getting your degree will help you set up and be prepared for after, for after you play basketball in the NBA or whatever it is. I agree with you. 100%. But think about it. You know what I mean? I don't know the full conversations you guys were having, but if these players are going to the NBA, going to college just for one semester, there's no point. Right? Because that's what happens. They gotta go to class the first semester. They don't really have to go to class the second semester because they're leaving anyway. So what's the point? They're not getting a degree. Right? They don't have plans on getting a degree. Now, some of them may get a degree once they get into the NBA. The way I see it, you go into the G League, you make money. If you want to get a degree, you can still go to school while you're in the NBA. You can still go to school while you're in the G League. I just think it makes more sense to save those scholarships for young men who are going to use them for 4 years. Now, if this becomes a thing, then the college game may look a little bit different in a few years. Right? If this happens, then the college game may look a little bit different. There'll still be guys drafted because you're going to have players who stay for 4 years and they look good. But I think, listen, there's a million ways. There's a million ways. You know what I mean? And if a high school player chose to go to the G League and they're making $75,000 a year playing in the G League, and they're also going to school, because I think the G League offers a program that you can go to school for free, and they're also going to school. I don't think you can fault them for that, man. Instead of wasting the school's money. Right? I mean, they're not wasting the school's money. Basically, the schools are taking advantage of these kids to make more money without paying these kids. You know what I'm saying? Well, let the schools pay someone who's going to be there for 4 years, and these guys go to a team where they can make some money, and then that team can promote them and market them, but they can also take advantage of their own marketing power and their own brand and stuff like that. I think it's right. Man, I think that's the way that it should go. Now, we'll see what happens from there. We'll see what happens from there. But I like to see it happen. I want to see how it turns out. It's gonna be interesting. Uptown Twan, thank you for the super chat. You said, "What's up? Can we get a Marcus Howard scouting report card next?" Definitely, without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. I'm saying I'm gonna be going on down the list. You know what I'm saying? Right now, tomorrow night we're gonna do the Knicks big board, a mock big board. Now, we're not doing the top 10 players in the draft. We're doing the top 10 players for the Knicks. All right. So if we were in the war room and this was our big board for the Knicks, who would be on it? That's what we're doing when we're breaking that down. Let me get to my man Siobhan Robinson, because he's been waiting patiently here in the video chat. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say what's up to him and get his perspective. Siobhan, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's good, Sam? What's poppin'? I'm
chilling, man. I'm chilling. Tell me, how you feel about any of these guys that we just talked about?
The Isaac Okoro, he's good. I think his defense is solid. He can move his feet. He's super athletic. He can't shoot worth the lick, and his free throws is terrible. He can't shoot free throws. That's a big no-no for me, because if you a slasher, you got for me, you got to be able to hit free throws, because you're gonna either be attacking the rim or going to the free throw line most of the time. So you need to hit those free throws. Nico Mannion, he's not bad. To me, I don't think he's gonna be bad. I think his father was a professional basketball player, and he's been raised in basketball, so I don't think he's gonna suck. He's gonna suck whatsoever. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be solid, but I don't think he's gonna be a starting point guard. And Saddiq Bey, he's out of these three, he's the one that I'm highest on.
Okay.
The elite this in today's NBA 3-and-D guys, you can never have too many of them. He's a 3-and-D guy.
Right.
So yeah, Saddiq Bey. I don't know if we'll be able to get him with the 27th. He's probably gonna go from anywhere from 10 to 15, honestly. And I don't know what we have to give up to get him. So I don't know.
So a lot of people are saying that they would take him at 7 or 8. Would you take him that high?
If someone like Obi is off the table, then yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll take him that high.
Okay.
I'll take him that high, and I'll try my luck to see if we can get a Kara Lewis or someone like that with the 27th.
Okay. All right.
Even though I don't think he'll be there either.
Where do you think Kara Lewis is gonna go?
He's probably gonna go, if Saddiq Bey is going 10 to 15, then Kara Lewis probably gonna go anywhere from 15 to 20. Because that boy, when I see Kara Lewis, I think y'all talked about it one day. He's John Wall. He's John Wall 2.0.
Speed.
His speed is just ridiculous. From the other hoop to hoop, he's a blur.
Right.
He's a blur.
Right. Right.
He's a blur. I would love him on the Knicks.
And when you can see that on television, you know it's fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you can see it on TV, you know it's fast.
He's fast. And I'm not even a sucker for athletic point guards, but speed like that, oh my God, speed like that, you just can't ignore that.
Now, you know, the Knicks are going to be able to do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going to be able to do a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of, you know, they'll be able to, you know, we'll see where they get, you know, if they get in the top 6. They have 3 picks. They might be able to move up. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that they can do. That's why, you know, we got to kind of cover a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, we got to kind of cover a lot of people.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things the Knicks should be open to. Like I was talking to Mark and them. I see we could possibly do business with Golden State. Like, yeah, y'all. I think y'all see me in the chat sometimes talking. I think we could trade Mitch and get Golden State's number 1 pick and keep our pick.
Ooh.
Wait a
minute. Hold on. You think
pick.
that we can trade Mitch for the number 1 pick and still keep our 6th pick? So you think Mitch is worth the number 1 pick in the draft?
We probably might have to go up to 27th, but I'm cool with that. If we could get two top 5, well, not top 5, 2 top 10 picks, I'm taking it. I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger on that. So, shoot, say with the Golden State Warriors pick, you get LaMelo, and with our pick, we get, I don't know, what, Obi or another, like, a big guy, or shoot, Wiseman. Who knows?
But you don't think that if you trade with Golden State, right, and you were to trade, first of all, it looks like Golden State, a lot of mock drafts now have Golden State taking Anthony Edwards, but you don't think that they would say, nah, we want the 6th pick. You know, we'll take Mitchell Robinson in the 6th pick. You don't think they're gonna at least want the 6th pick?
Nah, because I think they're I think they're somewhere around the luxury tax, right? They're not trying to take too much money back. Mitch is cheap. Mitch is super cheap.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So Mitch is cheap. If they got the first round, if they got the first pick is going to be, I don't know, what is it, 9 million, something like that, right?
Like 9 million.
9 million. Okay. So if they traded back, if the Knicks had the 6th pick and they traded back, Mitch is like $1 million. The 6th pick is going to be about 7 million, right? So they still cut a little bit of cost.
Nah, no, I'm giving them the 27th. I'm not giving them our 6th pick. We keeping our 6th pick.
I don't think they take Mitch and the 6th and the number 27th pick for that first. If they got the number 1 pick, I don't think they taking the 27th pick and Mitch.
Shoot, I'll throw Kevin Knox. I'll throw the 2nd pick. What you need? I got it.
Okay.
Frank, I got it. DSJ, Randall, I got it. Well, nah, I'm trolling. Randall, like they trying to save money, but I'll give whatever they want. Whatever they want.
I don't know if they're giving up that number 1 pick, man.
I'm your pusher, man.
I don't know, but I guess that's a good question for a lot of people. If the Warriors were gonna give up that number 1 pick, would you give up if the Warriors got the number 1 pick? Would you give up Mitch for the number 1 pick?
In a heartbeat.
That's a good question.
Patrick Mahomes throw him there.
That's a good question. Siobhan, let me get around and see what some other people think about that question right there. All right. Go ahead, Nate. Would you give up Mitch for the number 1 pick?
For the number 1 pick, if we get to keep our own this year?
Well, listen, we're not gonna get to keep our own.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. Golden State's gonna want a ransom for that number 1 pick. They're not stupid.
Would you give up Mitch in the number 6 pick for the number 1 pick?
Let's say it's Anthony Edwards is what we're going for.
Well, I mean, whoever you want, you got the number 1 pick.
Well, I'm assuming that if we trade for that number 1 pick, it better be Anthony Edwards, or I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. It better not be for LaMelo Ball. It's for damn sure.
Would you do it?
I would.
You
If
would?
it gets Anthony Edwards.
Wow.
I like Anthony Edwards.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me see what these other guys think. Mark, talk to me, Mark.
Yo,
Would you give up Mitchell Robinson, the number 6 pick for that number 1 pick?
oh, yep, I would.
You would?
Yeah, I would, because the two guys I want, that's someone we need, man. I think I would, man, because I can't give up those two. Not what they could do. I think I would.
Mm.
Not saying if it came, I'd highly think about it. But I probably would. I ain't gonna hold you. Because number one, we're gonna have to end up paying Mitchell Robinson soon. So
Soon. You're going to have to end up paying him soon. Couple
Yep,
years.
and he's gonna be looking for 4 years, 10+ million. So, you know. And the thing too, Sam, if he was significantly better, then I'd have said no. But the fact that you have LaMelo here and Anthony Edwards, and these dudes are more from a stylistic and know how to play the game and can actually help others get better, you don't give that up, man. You don't sleep on those two. So, because you have to pay Mitchell Robinson soon, it puts us in a whole lot of dilemma if that ever came about, because Frank and him is going to ask for their money. He's going to ask for their money. That's how the NBA works.
Yeah.
Because
I feel you. And you know what's crazy? I'm looking in the chat, right? I'm looking in YouTube chat. And I see people asking like, yo, what is this? This is nonsense. This is crazy. But let's not act like these things aren't plausible.
You got to
These
think
things
like
are plausible, folks.
You're giving Mitch over 40 mil, and you're giving Frank over 40 mil. And these dudes do not put up double-digit numbers in offense. They don't do anything significantly, like to a point where you're going to say, okay, I can give him. He's a productive player. These guys' consistency isn't there on a night-to-night basis. And for y'all to think that money do not play in, because play in with the Knicks right now. Now, if it was Mitch 2 years ago, no, I'd have kept Mitch and use that number 6 pick and do something else with it. But the dude their extension's about to come up, and they take a percentage of the salary cap, and it's not no 1-2 year signing up. They're looking for 4 years. When they look for the extension, they look for years, not no one and done deal. They ain't Kevin Durant or LeBron James. They only do that. They're young guys.
I mean, right. I agree with you, but I mean, people are asking like, what are we talking about in the chat? But seriously though, it is plausible. Listen, when the draft comes around, teams talk and try to negotiate to see what they can do to try to get better. And if you really, really like somebody, then you might say, you know what? Let's talk to Golden State or whoever has the first pick and see if they would accept this. You never know. You never know. And would Golden State trade the number 1 pick for Mitchell Robinson and the 6th pick?
I think they would take that.
They might. They might.
Because number one, right? They could use Mitch again. For an asset and that 6th pick and Andrew Wiggins and that Timberwolves 2021 and go big fish hunting. That is a package.
You never know, man.
And the thing too, Sam, people gotta understand something. The Knicks, if you was to tell me you drafted Anthony Edwards, is Mitch and Frank better than those two guys now? Ask yourself that.
Mitch and Frank better than who?
Edwards and LaMelo right now, if you was to insert them in the NBA right now.
You mean them two together? Are they better than one of those guys?
Yes.
No, they're not better than one of those guys. They're not better than one of those guys, but they are pieces to a good defensive team. Yes, Frank and Mitch.
They are, Sim. But if they was consistent, I would say no. But because their extensions is coming out, they talked about it, that they might ask for the extensions this summer. They're eligible for that. They're eligible this summer for it. So if they ask for it, it's either what the Knicks going to do. Are you going to give them that money? Are you going to give them that money? Because, again, right now, I don't think those dudes are, right now, to my liking, are 10, 11 plus $1 million players right now. They're just not. They're just not. And y'all talk about salary cap and want to leave stuff open. You have to think like that. Especially if you want to.
I hear you. I feel you. I feel you, man. I feel you. It could be. There's a lot of stuff that can go down in this draft. People are sleeping, but there's a lot of stuff that can go down in this draft. You just never know, man. You never know. But I'm about to get up out of here, Mark. I'm gonna let people get some last words in, man, and then I'm getting up out of here because people. G. Andrezzi said we've been inside too long. He said we've been inside too long. We're tripping right now, so we're coming up with wild scenarios. You know what I mean? That's what he said. He said we've been inside too long. I don't know.
Bro.
I'm just saying. I mean, listen. Look. This stuff you just never know. Wild stuff happens. Everybody always says that. They always say, "Oh man, that's not gonna happen," until it happens. You know what I'm saying? Trump got rid of a whole pandemic team when he got into office because he said ain't no pandemic hitting America. And a pandemic hit America after he got rid of the whole squad. Had to try to put together a new squad. You feel me? Just never know, man. So, Nate, give me some last words, man. Give me some last words. I'm about to get up out of here.
Hey, man, you hit the nail on the head with that Trump comment. Yeah, man. I mean, I like Mitch a lot, and I think a lot of Knicks fans like Mitch a lot. It would be hard to see us trade a guy that young, that talented, and go watch and blossom somewhere else and really live, get a lot better. So, but it just depends on how much you value Anthony Edwards. I mean, if you feel like he's going to be a cornerstone franchise player, then you try to go get him to pair him with RJ. Hey, real quick question. Are you going to do any kind of preview on RJ Hampton at all? I was looking at the mock draft.
Yeah, most likely. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was kind of curious because I like he's an interesting prospect. I like his size, and he played overseas and all that, and I just want to know if you were going to do it on him.
Yeah, most likely we're gonna go over and do a bunch of we're gonna do a bunch of people. We're gonna do the mock big board tomorrow, but we're gonna do a bunch of people still. Okay. We're gonna continue to do a bunch of guys.
Cool, man. Well, look forward to the mock big board tomorrow. So we'll see you.
Yeah. So I feel you, man. I feel you. And look, people like, oh, Mount, this conversation isn't it. Da. Listen, everybody always look, man. Everybody's always saying this can't happen, that can't happen, and then when it happens, they're like, "Holy cow, how did that happen? It's not fair. The NBA's rigged." You know what I'm saying? Guillermo, I'm coming to you, Guillermo. Give me some last words, man.
Yo, that Mitchell Robinson trade, people talking about, that's actually pretty realistic because
it is.
Again, we were talking about in the chat, bro. The dude Mitchell Robinson, are you gonna pay him the money he's probably looking for? And put like this, you got Rich Paul, me, Siobhan, and Andrew talking about this. Who's Mark? We're talking about this. And they made some great points. Like Siobhan was like, Clint Capella got paid $90 million 5 years, right? Mitch Robinson's with Rich Paul. He's probably going to be looking for money around that range, maybe 10, 20 million lower than that. But again, just because how everything's inflated, all these contracts inflated. And the kid, as much as I like Mitch Robinson, man, like the kid still can't shoot. He's not a play. I won't say he's not an impact player, but he's not a player where this play by itself is leading to us to, however many wins, right? When you look at him and you look at, I guess, the win shares between him and, say, a big man like Jokic, right? Jokic is a guy you build around, right? Mitchell Robinson is not that guy. So, and I love Mitch Robinson. Don't get me wrong. Mitch Robinson is an extra piece to a team. And look, is he a front court? Is he a front court defender? A really good front court defender? Yes. Great, really good blocker. Still learn how to use his feet. The kid gives us all. But if you're talking about taking him, do you pay him? Because it's not necessarily about the player Anthony Edwards, right? And it is about him. But you're talking about, are you going to pay him? Because we like Mitch Robinson now. But if Mitch Robinson gives you those same stats and you pay him that much money. Well, and Siobhan said this. He was like, "Yo, will we be happy?" I said, "Nah, we wouldn't. We'd be killing him every night because he still can't shoot. He ain't putting up 20 and 10. He ain't putting up 20 and 13. But you look at a guy like Jokic. Jokic is doing so much for that. You know what I mean? So look, I love Mitchell Robinson, but if you're talking about pairing Anthony Edwards with RJ, and I don't have to pay Mitchell Robinson that money because he may not live up to that contract, I might lean towards the Edwards thing. So it's not crazy, guys. It's realistic, man. And people killing us again. I said to Siobhan, there are many, and Andrew, there are a lot of GMs out there that these players, oh, you wronged me, man. You traded me and blah, blah, blah. But they got some championship rings, and the fans forget. The Toronto Raptors don't really, and I say they don't love him, but they ain't crying over DeMar DeRozan anymore, man.
Yeah, look, man, people always want to say this cannot happen. You guys are dreaming. This actually is something that's plausible. It's plausible, but
I've seen guys that were traded for. I've seen guys who would produce more, who were traded more quickly, or just without even thinking. So, salute. This is a good show, man. But that's I don't know. We should probably revisit that topic another time, man, because there's some players like this Knicks team. How many wins we got? I mean, we're trending to what, 30-something wins, maybe. You know what I mean? So
maybe 30, yeah, maybe 30.
Maybe we don't gotta. We think about Knicks fans, and we gotta stop doing this. We get emotionally attached. It's like lovable losers. We get emotionally attached to players that may be producing, but we're not winning, and we're not even close to winning. So sometimes you do have to blow it up. Sometimes you just do. David Lee, if we couldn't keep David Lee, man, and I thought, David Lee, that was my guy, man. But I understood it. The guy was never going to reach the heights here. Understand me? So, and with Mitch. You get assets for a guy like Mitch, and you can get Anthony Edwards, who's a dog, and might play with RJ back. You have two dogs. Come on, man. I'm not sure you give it up. So, but salute to the audience. Thanks for this time, man. Great show, man.
Yeah,
See you next time, bro.
So Matthew Williams said plausible based on what? Just plausible based on.
What do you mean plausible?
When I say plausible, meaning it's something that could come up. It's something that is. Huh?
No. Matthew, what are you talking about? It's very plausible because the situation coming up is like, bro, first of all, you guys, 2 more years left on the contract? I mean, so you're talking about a guy that he may not live up to a contract that we may feel pressured to give him. So do you take an asset that might have a higher ceiling? It's like, come on, bro. People talking about don't trade Mitch. Again, guys, you guys stop being, do we want to win? Because again, when you want to win, sometimes you have to take chances. I'm not saying you sit there and trade. There's some guys that feel untouchable with me. I still feel Mitch is in some regards untouchable, but in this scenario, you have to deeply consider it, man. You just because the same guys who talking about they love Mitch. If Mitch puts up the same stats and we're paying him 70, 80, 90 million, y'all will crucify him when he's having games where he only puts up 8 points and 5 rebounds. Y'all the same guys that'll do that. So think about it, man. That's all I gotta say.
And Uptown Twan said it's always the next shiny thing, but it's another draft. I don't know if it's the next shiny thing. It's another draft pick.
It's a kid who might be a transcendent talent. We're not trading. The Knicks used to do this. When was the last time the Knicks really traded up to get a higher pick for a kid, or we traded assets to get a higher pick in the draft? We worked the reverse where we traded draft picks for overpriced guys or whatever. We bring in these veteran guys instead of working with the youth. And obviously Mitch is young, but this is the reverse of that. So this is not the same thing, man.
Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, people gonna say we're pipe dreaming or we speaking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about Mitch. Yeah, you could hopefully one day you can win with Mitch. What we're saying is, I mean, if this scenario would have come up,
let me get one, Sim.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yo, Sim, like would I trade Mitch because I agree with Guillermo. I'm not paying him no 80, 90 million. You know what I'm saying? Like if you sit down, we could replace him for what he gives us now. That's not a rarity in the league. Like Miles Plumlee can give us that. Willie Cauley-Stein can give us that. JaVale McGee can give us what Mitchell Robinson is giving us. Those guys are not making. Well, Mason Plumlee and Miles Plumlee, they make some kind of money, but Willie Cauley-Stein, he made the minimum. Even like JaVale McGee, these guys make the minimum. I would bring guys like that because they're gonna give us the same. I'm not paying Mitch no 70, $80 million. If I could trade Mitch and get Joel Embiid, then I'm doing it.
But
If
you
I sit
think,
down and think about it, I'll do it.
okay. But you think that when Mitch's contract is up, I don't know if Mitch makes $1.5 million in 2019, 2020, $1.6 million next season, and then there's a team option for $1.8 million, and then he's up for free agency.
Yeah, he's gonna ask for the bag.
I mean, his numbers got to be there first, though. His numbers got to be there first. You know what I'm saying? His numbers got to be there.
Yeah, I know his numbers are gonna be there, but paying him that kind of money I pay Capella now, not for a guy that can't shoot from the perimeter. He's an offensive liability. If he just a live guy that plays with energy and stuff like that, we can easily replace that. You know what I mean? We can easily replace him. You got Miles Plumlee, Mason Plumlee, those guys. You know, think about it. Would you pay Bismack Biyombo?
But the thing is,
would you pay him that kind of money?
But do you think Mitch is going to stay as this type of player? Do you think he's going to continue to be a guy that doesn't expand his game out to the perimeter?
It depends, because look how long it took Ibaka to do that. It took Ibaka a good 5-6 years to do that, and he's still not even that efficient at it. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at Mitch, you say, okay, are we going to wait 5 years for him to develop into that? You know what I mean? And do we pay him that capital? Do you pay him $15 million a year? I wouldn't do it.
So
if I could trade him and get Joel Embiid and get me a Aaron Baines and a Willie Cauley-Stein to be my bigs, even bring a Kyle O'Quinn back for vet minimum kind of deals, I would do it. As long as I'm not giving up the farm, I would do it. If I gave up the Dallas picks and Mitchell Robinson, I would do it.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I see a lot of people saying that, asking, so you give up on your most promising player and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that's the issue. You're giving up on him. I think what people are saying is, do you trade him? Do you include him in a trade if you can get a player that you think might be transformative? Some people think Anthony Edwards might be transformative. Do you give up Mitchell Robinson in the 6th pick for a player that you think can transform your franchise? Mitchell Robinson probably is not going to be a franchise transforming player. He's not that. Anthony Edwards, some think he might be. Right? That's the question. Right? That's the question. You say Mitch is only 22, well, Anthony Edwards is 18 right now. 18. Yeah. And he would probably come in and make a much bigger difference on your franchise. You know what I'm saying? If something like that went down. I'm not saying that he is, but some believe he might be, and I don't know if the Knicks believe he is or not. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, we have a lot of options what we could do if even for trades. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have a lot of options. It's just we have to find the right combination of things that really help progress this team. We have to find the right right options, because we could do a lot of things. We could bring in some decent vets that will really build the bench up. And if we draft and get it all depends where we fall in the draft. I think that it's hit and miss with the numbers with the draft. Yeah. If we could get like a top 2, top 3 pick, it all depends on that, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Because, now I get it. And Daniel Morelli says, if you want a first pick, tank. You know what? Tanking does not guarantee you a first pick. That was obvious last season, right? Tanking does not guarantee you a first pick. And we're not saying, people are like, oh, those guys, we're glad those guys aren't in the front office. No one's saying that you're definitely going to do it. But I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, if you were actually sitting in that office and the Warriors called you up with that offer, you would definitely think about it. And if you didn't think about it, then you weren't doing your job. You weren't doing your job. No player in the NBA is untradeable. None. You can use the word, you can throw around the word untouchable all you want. No player in the NBA is untouchable. I don't care what you say. Not LeBron James, not Giannis. Now, would it take a haul to get somebody like that? Of course it would. Of course it would. You know what I'm saying? Of course it would. Like the Bucks to trade Giannis, you'd have to be giving up Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and somebody else to get Giannis. Right? You'd have to be giving up that. But in my opinion, no player ever is untradeable. It's just to get a player, to make a trade for a player of a certain stature, you have to give up so much. You just can't do it. You see what I'm saying? You know.
Wait, Sim, Mitchell Robinson, he's 22, right?
Mitchell Robinson is, yes, 22. Just turned 22. Just turned 22. He just turned 22.
I'm about to say it. Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. Like, I mean, I would do it. If I can get the number one, I'll do it.
All right.
Cause we got a lot of draft picks, man. We got a lot of draft picks.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot of draft picks.
We'll see what's gonna happen. You know, a lot of stuff can go on in this draft, man. A big shout out to Ishmael Rivas for the super chat. He says, "Is there any way that we could draft both Kira Lewis and Saddiq Bey in the first round?" He said, "Great show again, Sim. Please be safe." I will be safe. Thank you. I mean, there is a way. I guess there's a way that you can draft them both in the first round if you want to give up, whatever your top pick is going to be. If you want to trade that down or do something like that, there's probably a way. I don't think that happens to get both of those guys, but there could be a way if that's what you wanted to do. But hey, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys, for being here. Even though some of you guys get mad at us because, you say we're coming up with crazy, wild scenarios. Don't get it wrong. I love Mitchell Robinson, man. I want Mitchell Robinson to be here, but I'm just saying, sometimes things happen. That's the NBA. You know what I mean? But I love Mitch. And I think Mitch is going to be a really good center in the league for a long time. And if he can expand that jump shot, watch out. But anyway, I'm out of here. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a mock big board. So that should be fun. Make sure that you join us. All right. And it's going to be a group thing. We're going to all talk about who should be the number one pick. As far as the Knicks big board, what's our top 10? Who's our top 10 players on the Knicks big board? This is going to be part 1. And we'll go on to part 2, part 3, all of that. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, getting up out of here. All right, Andrew, appreciate you, my man. I'm getting up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. It was fun. All right, I look forward to chopping it up with you guys tomorrow. All right, I'm going to take a moment and listen to this West Side Gun album, see what it's all about, because it's released. It's all good, man. All right, be safe, ladies and gentlemen. Be easy. Tomorrow's Friday, your last day of work or whatever, if you're working. Be peaceful, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. I'm up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.